Be confident, be bold, be authentic, but don't forget to take action. This is Ordinary to Badass, where our stories empower women to step into the spotlight of their own lives and pursue what they're truly passionate about. It's time to step into the arena and become more than just extraordinary. It's time to become a badass with your host, Marie Sonneman.
Welcome to Ordinary to Badass, episode number 210. In this episode, I'm going to share 3 reasons why Lia Pinelli is so badass. In case you missed this episode, or in case you missed Lia's episode, Lia is a personal coach. She helps driven, busy women stop overeating, and she helps them from the inside out. So many good takeaways from the last episode. If you've ever struggled with overeating or even over drinking, then that episode is for you. Go back and check it out. But if you're short on time and just want to hear the 3 reasons why Lia is so badass, then stay tuned. Listen to this episode. With that, let's get to it. Welcome to Ordinary to Badass. Whether you're ordinary or badass, I am so glad you're here. In today's episode, I'm going to share 3 reasons why Lia Pinelli is so badass. So we'll start off at the top, and I'll give you the 3 reasons why Lia is so badass, and then we'll get into it, get into the nitty gritty. All right, so the 3 reasons why Lia Pinelli is so badass is 1, because she didn't have all the answers. 2, she used food as an indicator. And 3, for the mental redo. Let's get into it. Okay. The first reason why Lia Pinelli is so badass is because she didn't have all the answers. She had this experience where she was mentoring kids and they were struggling, whether it was with food or relationships, and she didn't have any advice to tell them. She would just listen to what they had to say. And I say just, but listening is a huge part. And listening still helps people, right? So she would listen to what these kids had to say and didn't know what the response was or what she should say. So not only did she listen, but then she went and figured out an answer. She went and became a coach so that she could help people. She could help girls. She could help women, adults, how to deal with this issue of overeating or using their emotions to overeat. And so she didn't just sit there and be like, oh, well, this is a problem I can't solve, or there's nothing I can do about this. She took matters into her own hands. She sought out the answers. Sometimes the answers aren't just going to land in our lap. And I'm not saying you have to do everything about every single thing that you don't know how to do, but you have so much power. There's so much that you're capable of. And I would venture to guess that you don't even realize it. Do you ever get a nudge? Like, there's something else here. There should be more. Do you investigate that? Do you get curious about it? Or do you just say, oh well, this is for somebody else to figure out? If something intrigues you, do what Lia did. Dig in. Find out more, right? And she was a principal of a teacher or of a school. And so she didn't have to dig in. She could have been like, oh, that's out of my realm. That's for somebody else to handle. That's for another coach or another person can figure it out. But I'm a teacher or I'm a principal. So she didn't have to dig in to find out, but she probably just followed her curiosity. She had that feeling that there was more there, that there was something else. There was a different way to handle this. And so she dug in. I'm sure that she wanted the answers for herself too. She wanted the answers for herself, for her students, or for any of the kids that she was mentoring. So she dug in. So here is my challenge to you. In this next week, where you have questions about something, or something feels undone, or unsaid, or there's an answer that you're looking for, get curious about it. It's time to be freaking curious. If not now, then when? getting curious could completely change your life. It changed Leah's life, but we'll get to that in a minute for number 2, right? But get curious. When things intrigue you, at least in this following week, get curious. Start to look at them. Start to dig into some answers, right? Maybe do a little bit of research. This doesn't have to be anything crazy, but just do a little bit of digging. Follow those little nudges that your intuition is giving you. The universe, your intuition, they're giving you signs all the time. But are you listening? If you're not listening, then why would they continue to give you signs? Okay, the second reason why Lia Pinelli is so badass is because she uses food as an indicator. She said that she had always struggled with emotional eating. She would have an all or nothing type personality, and when she ate a lot. When she didn't eat, then it wasn't a big deal, but it would be all or nothing. Like when she'd make a mistake, then she said the F it mentality. She'd just be like, F it, I'm done. So then she'd go all in on food or whatever it was, wine, chocolate. But then she started to monitor her food. She started to pay attention to why she was eating. Was she eating because she was bored? And then she said, do I want to be the person that just eats because I'm bored? Is that how I want to fill my time, is with food? Or should I go do something that will be interesting to me, intriguing to me? You have options. It's up to you if you're bored or not. If you feel bored, you can just sit there and continue to feel bored and complain about it. Or you can get up and do something. Leah said, like, another reason you could be eating is because of your emotions. Because food, it can often be related to emotions. So if you had a bad day at work, and she talked about sometimes she would have a hard day at work, and then she'd have a little toddler she was raising. So then it would be so stressful, and there's a lot going on, and the toddler has needs. So then she'd react by, oh, well, then I can't wait to have this glass of wine. I'll have this glass of wine and this cheese or popcorn or chocolate and just indulge on that because that'll ease my day. Since I had a rough day at work, I deserve it, right? So she paid so much attention to her emotions that it completely changed her life. She realized she was eating simply because she was dissatisfied. She was not happy at work. And she said that was kind of a big pill to swallow. Because she went to a major college and spent how much money to get a degree. And then she was going to give it all up to become a life coach? That sounds crazy. Or does it? Does it sound crazy to follow your dreams? Maybe when she was going to college, she didn't know that her dream was to be a life coach or that that wouldn't end up being what she wanted to do. And if she hadn't have taken that step to go to college, it might have turned her life in a completely different way. Sometimes we just have to follow the path we're on. And yeah, that means you spend how much money going to college and it might appear wasted. But then, like, if you're switching careers, I'm saying, and you're not going to use what you learned in college for your new career. But usually there is a through line. There is something in your life that's like a through line going all the way through that's a similarity. So maybe for her, it was coaching, right? Principals have to coach teachers. They have to mentor children. And as a coach, she still has to mentor people, lead people, show them the way. So there is a through line. I'm sure there's things that she learned as a principal that helped her as a life coach. So then once she realized, like, oh my goodness, my satisfaction or my dissatisfaction is coming from my job. Now I'm going to have to do something about it. Eek! Have you ever experienced that before? Where you're like, damn, you have some sort of realization and you're like, damn, now I'm going to have to do something about this. She could have very easily just stayed with her pattern. She could have just continued to have some wine at night and have chocolate and popcorn and cheese and all of the things and been dissatisfied. Or she could change, which she did. She made a major career change. which is pretty freaking badass. Anytime you're making a career change, it is not easy. It's like pushing you out of your comfort zone. Maybe even throwing you out of your comfort zone because you're in a completely different space. And you have to adjust to all these new things or learn all of these new things. There can also be an excitement to that though. Like, oh my goodness, I'm doing this. I'm really doing it. I'm doing this thing that I've always wanted to do. And she learned that all from paying attention to her food, to her eating, to trying to figure out what was the source of her discontent. What's the source of your discontent? And how are you expressing that? Is it coming out through food? Is it coming out through drinking or avoidance? Like maybe you're binge watching Netflix, like Lia said that her sister does. There's a million different ways that your discontent can come out. And we all have different ways of coping with it. So I think that's something important to reflect on. If you're discontent, and what ways is it coming out in your life? And then look how you can fix that, right? Not cover it up with an addiction, but how you can make yourself happy again. How you can get that, minimize that area of discontent or eliminate it completely. You are a badass. I know that you can do this. This is hard. Freaking hard is what I was thinking. It's freaking hard to make these hard decisions or to make life changes. And not everything that you're discontent about has to be a big life change, but some of it might be. But to just address it and face it head on. And even if it's making teeny tiny steps every single day to start doing things that bring you more joy and get rid of the things that bring you discontent. All right, with that, we'll move to number 3. The third reason why Lia Pinelli is so badass is because of her mental redo. Lia has a process that she does and that she takes her clients through, and it's all about the mental redo. So when you do something, like say eat, you binge eat and have a ton, and then you feel crappy about it, right? So then guess what? Lia says you can have a mental redo. She does this for herself. She takes her clients through this. You go back and you do it again. Would you do the same thing over again? What would you do different? Does it have to be all or nothing? So Lia gave the example like you indulge in a cheesecake and you eat way too much cheesecake than you should have or than you wanted to. And then you feel gross or upset or beat yourself up over what you did. So then you could sit down and she said maybe you have an alternative. Like maybe you eat half the cheesecake. You have half for yourself and split the other half with your sister or your friend. Or maybe you have half and you take the other half home for your significant other or for another day. And she said just by imagining this in your mind, just by imagining the mental redo, then it helps rewire things in your brain. And you have these ideas on the top of your head of what you could do differently in the moment. You don't have to seek answers when you're stressed. Because we all know that when we're stressed, we're probably not going to make the best decisions. And so if these decisions or these thoughts are already pre-thought out and we've come up with these ideas ahead of time, we're much more likely to do them. I don't know about you, maybe it's just me, but I repeat the same scenarios over and over and over again. It just depends what my weakness is at the moment. Like maybe it's brownies. And so then like when I'm upset, then maybe I go get brownies. Not maybe, I do. So I'm upset and I go get brownies. That's the thing I'm going to eat. Or M&Ms or whatever the thing is. It kind of just depends on the phase of my life. And so I have this go-to thing. Even if it means getting off my butt and going to the store to get that thing just to cure my emotions. Which it doesn't really cure your emotions, right? But then I could come up with a plan. What am I going to do next time that I have that urge to go buy a brownie or go buy chocolate? That seems to be the resounding theme there, right? So what am I going to do next time? Maybe I just go for a walk first. Or I have some water. Like drink a thing of water first, see how I feel. Or call me crazy. Just sit with my emotions. Now, I will tell you, I have gotten better with this now that I'm meditating. But I tend to sit with my emotions in that moment. Not so much like every morning at 4:00, I'll sit with my emotions, but not so much when I'm feeling the urge to go eat or get something unhealthy, right? So that could be a solution is, okay, when I just want to go get something fattening or go get something chocolatey, then I'm just going to sit and just feel it and let it work itself through or work itself out. So I love this idea of a mental redo because you can do it and go through it and feel the success. Feel how you would feel if that actually happened. If you actually turned down the brownie, if you turned down the cheesecake or the wine, whatever your thing is, if you actually turn that down, how would that feel? I say put that in your visualization. Because then you're going to associate that feeling, hopefully, the next time it happens. Or maybe it takes 5 times for you to visualize it, 20 times for you to visualize it. And then all of a sudden you start, tapping into those emotions. I've listened and read Joe Dispenza's books, like Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself is one of them. But how we get into the same dang habits day in and day out. We think the same things over and over and over again. And so unless we have something to disrupt what we're going through, unless we think a different thought, it probably won't change. And it might be darn hard. No, I think it is darn hard to experience that in the moment or to change it in the moment, to think a different thought in the moment, unless you've practiced, unless you've done these mental redos that Lia is talking about. All right, let's do a quick recap. The 3 reasons why Lia is so badass is 1, because she didn't have the answers. 2 is because she used food as an indicator. And 3rd is the mental redo. And I didn't add this into the reasons why she's so badass, but I really love her idea of the case of the Effets. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and listen to the episode. And if you loved Lia's episode, if you had takeaways from this episode, throw it up on your Instagram stories. Let us see what your takeaways are. You could tag Lia at Lia Pinelli, LiaPinelli, and me at Ordinary to Badass. We want to know what your takeaways are. What did you learn from the episode? What helped you? Did you think of something differently? Were you able to implement, or do you plan on implementing something that you learned? Man, it lights me up. I get so stinking excited when I hear from you and when I know that this podcast is having an impact and what the takeaways are. And then that way I can also say, oh, okay, cool. This is what you want to hear more of. I can put more content like that on future episodes. But in order for that to happen, I have to know that you like it or what's working for you. All right, with that, let's end our show. To all the badass women out there staying in the arena, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, own it and get after it.
Now that you've listened to this episode of Ordinary to Badass, we want to hear from you. Go to our website, ordinarytobadass.com/podcast, and submit your own experience on how you took your life from ordinary to badass and get the chance to be on a future spotlight episode of the show. That's ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. While you're waiting for the next episode of the show, wipe off the sweat, dust off the dirt, and get back in the arena.